Is a recession coming? Are we already in one? Well, maybe and maybe. With scary news blasting in front of our faces 24/7 between the TV, social media, it can be pretty easy as an investor to hit the panic button, I would say, whenever you see your portfolio dropping. But what if I told you you don't have to panic? You see, to the savvy, well-prepared investor, they may actually look at a recession as a financial gift. I know, it sounds crazy, but that's what I hope to talk about in this two-part video series. And today, I'm gonna be talking about 3 tips to navigating a recession. Let's get to it. Tip number 1, assess your exposure. So now for this one, I want you to pause. I want you to take a step back, all right? And I want you to really think about where you are at in your own life's timeline. Are you earlier in your career? Are all of your investments designated for retirement? If you fit both of those descriptions, odds are your portfolio, which I'm imagining will be invested entirely in growth if you're earlier in your career, if you're a younger person, that type of portfolio can handle some of the worst that this recession has to offer. Let me tell you why. Those with longer time horizons, right, a younger person, they can afford significantly more risk than somebody who is nearing retirement age. Now, the rub here is staying calm. It's staying patient. It's staying patient, especially when the going gets rough. Why? Well, because people who are able to maintain their patience through the nastiest of economic storms could potentially end up with bigger portfolios than they went into it with when markets recover. Now, if you're closer to retirement, that's a much different story. When markets dip, and I mean dip hard, you can't actually afford the same level of risk that somebody who is younger can afford, right? You're near retirement. You don't want to compromise your retirement income. You've already ran the race. But really, for somebody who is older, it might just be smarter to divert some of your cash into lower risk investments. In total, be realistic about your risks. Consider any and all, especially if you have a family to support. Tip number 2, lean on your flexibility. So when it comes to the stock market, there is a lot more psychology than you even realize that goes into it. Some people who look at the stocks dipping, all right, they hit the panic button, like I said earlier, and they start to sell, right? But you might be thinking, well, if you sell, are you cutting your losses? Not necessarily. When you're selling, all right, that same person selling, on the flip side, you have somebody who's looking at that opportunity as a fire sale to buy high value stocks at a dirt cheap price. And those quality stocks tend to be bought at a much higher volume. As the great Warren Buffett once said, be greedy when others are fearful and fearful when others are greedy. Now, free-flowing optimism in the face of adversity might seem a little bit too good to be true. And that's mainly because it is. In the rush of buying those, high value, low price stocks, it can be very easy to forget that you need fail safes. You need some cushion to kind of fall on in case of, losing your backside. Keep your hedges intact and your income protected, and that is a great segue into my next point. Tip number 3, brace yourself with your diversification, meaning make sure you are properly diversified. I cannot emphasize that enough. You should be invested in several different kinds of asset classes, and that should all vary depending on your unique situation. I know I said earlier, if you're a young person, you could get through a recession. If you're entirely growth oriented, that's fine. Like I said, it all depends on varying factors. Younger, older, middle-aged, every single stage of life requires a different level of risk tolerance, and again, Personal finance is personal. It is totally personal to you. It is totally personal to your money. However, in the face of a recession, I cannot emphasize enough how, I don't care who you are, important it is to be diversified. So let's think for a second. If you need some money, let's see, with a 10-year time horizon, you need it sooner than 10 years, but 10 years is the max. If that is your time horizon, being strictly invested in the market could be unwise. A better option might be to move your money into safer investments that can cover shorter time horizons, but also ones that can help generate income over the next few years. Now, don't twist my words up. This doesn't mean evacuate from the market altogether. Again, we're talking about diversifying your portfolio here. That's keeping some money in the market while, again, also limiting downside risk, especially in the face of needing that money quickly. Another thing about keeping your money in the market in times like these keeps you up to pace with inflation, something that's also been dominating headlines as of late. Having the right blend of assets ensures that you have the safety to get through just about anything that life can throw at you. Preparation is key, knowledge is key. When times get tough, you don't have to overcomplicate things. If anything, you need to get simpler. A lot of what we fear comes from the unknown, so get knowing. Now, be sure to check out part 2 of this video where I will be going over 2 big mistakes that people make whenever a recession rolls in. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I'm Chris Jr., and I'll see you next time for more Clearview Finance.